Hey, RetconRaider here, with special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Dragon Matrix 7, Mathew Smith, Revenant, Alois, Drakiith, EREV23, Egg, EgonAlter, Emile, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to the alpha for Warhammer 40k, Rogue Trader. As today we head back to the Pirates' Denz to settle some unfinished business. And you know what? We'll hold off on planning for anything else beyond that until we see if we survive or not. Because I did indeed bump the difficulty up to core. That removes all of the little handicaps that were holding enemies back. It should certainly make things interesting. Oh, I see where we are. Yeah. That's the catwalk we saw when we first came in. The one I was wondering if we could actually get to, with the suspicious types loitering on it. Still no idea if we can actually get out there, but apparently this dead end did serve a function. It's where they hid the entrance to the warehouse. So that's fun. Anyway, let's get back to that funeral. Places to go, people to kill. Oh, but before we head in, I did notice that there is a formation option. So yeah, let's go ahead and set ourselves up in a slightly more defensive setup. We'll keep our high damage threshold characters up front to soak the brunt of early fire, and hopefully buy a little more time for our backliners to hug cover. Alright, let's do this. As soon as you appear, a dozen eyes and guns shift in your direction. The guests of the ceremony no longer pretend to be peaceful mourners. They are, however, stunned to see you. I don't believe it. You had the nerve to come back? After your tumble through the flames? Listen, Dagon. I hate you, you hate me. But maybe we can set aside our differences? For the sake of our mutual target, so to speak? The man nods at you and narrows his eyes ominously. Finally, boy, you're showing some signs of being your father's son. Denz would never beat around the bush with rivals. Shoot their head off and be done with it. Anyway, I accept your proposal. He aims his weapon at you. We've tried killing you quietly. That didn't work out. So we'll just kill you, plain and simple like. This is Footfall for throne's sake. Bye-bye, Fidelio. I am getting really tired of people trying to kill me without explaining why. Yeah, we don't care. Come now, Dagon. Let's give the man an explanation before his death. You see, Master Fidelio, my late father, Denz Damon's taken Bellardo, has bequeathed his entire fortune to you. Not to me, his only son. Not to his first mate. You. So where does that leave us? You must die. I don't suppose it makes a difference that I'm not the real Master Fidelio? Not really. Anyone would say that looking down the barrels of a dozen guns. Yeah, fair enough. Let's get this over with then.
I won't heed your cries of mercy.
I'll turn you into corpse starch.
Time to kill. Okay, let's take this slow because we are now playing on no holds barred mode on core difficulty. We've got 3 tougher targets. No, 4 with the combat servitor in the mix. It's Caspalardo off to the right. The combat servitor far side. But as we saw in the last fight, those things are slow, so we've got a couple of rounds before it reaches us. We do need to be careful, though. That thing is toting what looks to be a heavy las cannon. Oh, look at that guy. That guy's got a sniper rifle. That might be a problem. And we've got Dagon right in front of us. Looks like he's a melee fighter. We'll need to take him out quick before he can wade into our back line. 1 or 2 swipes would be enough to take out some of our weaker characters. So let's start with that. We'll just unload on Dagon, see if we can mow him down right off the bat.
Not a problem for me.
Okay, not bad. Let's go for a second burst. Actually, let's go for guaranteed damage. Clerk incoming. And he's an adept. Interesting. Alright, we need to finish off Dagon. Might be good to clear out some of the closer mooks, too, if we can. Yeah, let's light this cluster up. Then we don't have to worry about getting flanked.
Strike is a prayer.
2 dead, 1 burning. And, this guy.
None can escape the Emperor's judgment.
I noticed on our timeline that we've got like half our squad going before Dagon does, so we should be fine. But that guy, that no-name sniper, oh goodness, and the guy with the las rifle, those 2 are a problem. Those 2 need to go. Maybe we'll sick Abelard on them. Or Adira might be able to pick them off from afar. No, you know what? Let's finish off Dagon. Then we can focus on the softer targets. And let's get a defense buff going, since we know we'll be drawing return fire. Oh wow, and that maxed out our momentum. That was quick. I guess Dagon was just stuffed with momentum, and it all came spilling out once he died. Okay, well that certainly opens up some other options for us. Though not with Adira, she is out of points. Cassia. Let's see here. I guess we can start going for softer targets now.
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
Las guns out. And let's bring you up.
are always drowned in scarlet. If I may.
Very nice. Ah, Abelard. Brace yourself, Abelard! Let's have him break left. We'll have him beat up Cass and the clerk over there. Then he can start circling around towards that sniper. Shoot, I was hoping I could catch both of them with one swing. Charge path's no good. Ah, that's fine. We'll just go for Cass.
At your beck and call.
Oh, wow. That's it for Cass. No accounting for crits. And let's get Superior Vigilance going. Plus some Primal Screaming to draw attention. We're doing okay. It's really just the Combat Servitor and the Sniper we have to worry about. Oh, goodness. Okay. Okay, that was not a las cannon. That was a multi-melta. I may have slightly misread that one. Yeah, that I think is our new priority target. Because if he gets any closer, that is going to mulch our entire party. Man, we are not working with much cover here. I mean, we had more, but it got melted. Group buff. Heal thyself. And it's me, RetconRaider. You know what? Let's make a run for that sniper. Abelard's going to be tied up for another round or two anyway. Oh, wait, is that not cover? Too late to worry about it now. That might have been slight overkill.
Already done.
Ah, close. Alright, can we get to cover from here? Oh, well, not if I click on second wind instead of dash. That's not going to help us. And I guess we're just tanking that return fire. Hi. Yeah, don't worry, I didn't forget about you. Sister Argenta, would you mind? That's kind of risky. Oh, and apparently that was two. I didn't even realize we could hit the bystanders like that.
Doubt is for the weak. I need targets, not guidance. As the Emperor commands, I act.
And there we go. But we're tapped. So the only real threats left at this point are the sniper and the servitor.
Faith without deeds is worthless.
Oh yeah, that guy's done. We'll tear him up momentarily. The servitor, though, that is a stickier wicket. This guy is basically a tank. And now that we know he's got that multi-melt, I'm really wary of getting too close to him. Could use some slightly better visual distinction between some of the icons. And Cassie, we should really pull her back farther. She will not survive a direct hit from a multi-melta. Few things will. Ah, right. Still on cooldown. Pascal, you're up.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
Thank you. Now let's get you into cover. And Abelard. We'll bring Abelard up. But we also need to keep him out of its line of sight. He can't reach it this turn, but we can get him close enough to reach it next turn. We just need to make sure he doesn't get vaporized on approach. Fingers crossed. Oh boy. Well, we all made it through. Let's kill that thing before it can do it again. Ah, and this guy. Yeah, let's finish this up too.
Suits my purposes.
Sorry? Man, I could not stop shooting these servitors.
My time is now.
Oh, yep, and see, our military excellence, our heroic surge,
Absolutely not.
didn't actually work properly this time. We got all our action points back, but we can't use them to do anything. So we'll just tuck ourselves close and hope for the best.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone. As the Emperor commands, I act. This is why I was chosen.
Alright, let's finish this. Oh, come on. You're not going to show me the kill shot? Because that man is very dead. For those who didn't follow what just happened, I deliberately moved RetconRaider right up next to him, so that on his turn he'd have to move away since you can't fire long arms from close combat. But then when he did, he triggered a fatal attack of opportunity. So at this point, we've just got this servitor, who is still incredibly dangerous.
Emperor, give me strength. Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Rejoice in battle! I'll do it.
Oh, we are cutting this close. It's all you, Abelard.
Fantastically sounded.
And that will do it. Dagon lifts his bloodied face. Ah, it hurts. Dagon, you're still alive. Don't worry, I'm sure it's just temporary. Kazorm clutches his wounded body. The crematorium's going to have its hands full today. You've stopped shooting. Oh no, Dad! Chaplain looks at the carnage around him matter-of-factly. Wonderful. This is a funeral Denz would be proud of. Oh, and now we decide their fates. I mean, given that they did just blatantly try to kill me, and probably tried to kill me a few times before that, too, I would just go ahead and kill both of them in return now. But the daughter does kind of complicate that. And I mean, I think it's fair to say that Kaz would not have had the guts to try anything if not for Dagon being there to back him up. I think one example will suffice. Oh my. Chaplain shrugs indifferently. Are we done with the firing squads? I would like to finally resolve the matter of Denz's inheritance. And after that, give him a proper send-off. Yeah, I'm done. And so, according to the deceased's will, all of Bilardo's fortune goes, not to his worthless son Cass, not to his brainless mate Dagon, but to Fidelio, a mysterious new heir. However, I believe a certain party would like to intervene in this process. Chaplain looks straight at you and chuckles. Man, I feel like we missed a clue somewhere. But who's the real Fidelio? If Fidelio were here, if they were to know about their status as the heir, they would have made themselves known by now. And if it's not you, sir, then I suppose we'll never know the truth. But we can make our own truth, can't we? We're on Footfall. Names and ideas are traded and used here in every way imaginable. And so, all that remains is to recognize you as Fidelio. Alright, I mean, yeah, given that the alternative is to give it to Cass, and I am definitely not rewarding his attempt to kill me. So be it. I am indeed Master Fidelio, and I hereby claim my rightful inheritance. With apologies to the real Fidelio, whoever and wherever they might be. As it is written in the will, so be it. I will see to all the formalities and make sure you receive all the deeds to the property. Chaplain looks at the coffin. I would like to say goodbye to my old friend. The crematorium is a bit wrecked now. But who needs a crematorium? Denz loved having his enemies drenched in promethium and burned. They didn't call him Jerry Can Denz for nothing. I think it'd be a nice gesture to send him on his way in the same fashion. Thankfully, it's easy enough to procure a jerry can of promethium on Footfall. Chaplain gives you a sidelong glance. Want to stay and watch? Sure, why not? Might as well see this thing through to the end. Still wish we found out who Fidelio is, though. Well, let's get started, I guess. And thus it ends. Would have been nice to solve the mystery, but we did still, I think, wrap everything else up fairly definitively. The funeral is over. The inheritance distributed. Man, what could I have possibly missed? Just as well, I suppose. But we'll definitely go for a more satisfying ending when we do a full run. For now, though, we have other quests to set our sights on. We need to scan planets for Opticon 22, we need to visit the Shadow Quarters, and we still have to talk to the Liege of Footfall. We also have a bunch of corpses to loot. Arsonist's Bracers. +5 bonus on tech use. +3 damage bonus on flame weapons. Very nice. That'll either go to Pascal or Argenta. I wonder what we would have gotten from Cass. Pascal, can we give you this flamer? No, we cannot. You are not proficient with it. Actually, can you equip other weapons at all? That plasma gun seems kind of wired to you. Okay, I'm gonna take that as a maybe. Yeah, I think it's just a proficiency issue. One of the options you can pick during some level ups is being proficient with specialty weapons. I think he's just not proficient with flamers. Oh, and we missed this. The Ripper. Not really seeing anything notable here. Let's have a look at that Orthlock pattern we picked up back in the warehouse. I was hoping for a direct comparison, but the UI is still a bit glitchy on the inventory screens. But at a glance, there's nothing on there that's better than the Orthlock. Yeah, it's basically just a weaker Orthlock. Half the rate of fire, 3/4 the ammo cap. Weird.
Victory awaits.
There's our sniper rifle. And I guess that's it. Got a fair chunk of cargo, one usable item, in the form of those arsonist's bracers. Oh, plus the arm guard we found down in the sewers. That was a nice find. I am curious if the inheritance actually bumped our profit factor, though. We'll have to check in with a merchant when we get a chance. Like pretty flowers overgrown with weeds, the halls of Footfall's former palaces and temples have been overrun by the shabby houses of the present-day inhabitants. Ah, gated content.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Which gets us another knuckle duster. We've already got one, so that doesn't do us much good. Though again, I'll have to see if we can trade that in. Okay, we've still got 15 minutes on the clock, so let's go have a chat with... Actually, can we talk to this guy? Ooh, we can. This young man is clearly making every effort to look dapper. His fashionable clothes are practically new, and his hair is well groomed. What ruins this impression is the poorly scrubbed off oil stains from his leaky implant, and the size of the doublet, which was clearly made for someone else. Come one, come all! See for yourself the best collection of live Xenos on Footfall! What kind of collection is this? Dangerous, vicious, ruthless Xenobeasts, caught red-handed as they were attempting to commit evil against the Imperium. But right now they're harmless. Our cages can withstand their rage. But I wouldn't recommend getting too close, ha ha ha. Yeah, pretty sure those aren't real Xenos. Those look like mutants wearing disguises. The man's smile dims, but only for a moment. Not Xenos, you say? I'm sure there must be some mistake. I will check the shipping list myself, rest assured. Yeah, I'm sure you will. His words are oozing with greenish-yellow hues. I do not think the promise will be kept. Such entertainment is lucrative precisely because billions of Imperial subjects have never encountered a Xenos in their life. Ignorance and curiosity create colossal demand. That's what I was taught, and I can see that the lesson was truthful. Yeah, that's pretty rough. Given that this guy just lied directly to our face, I don't think ordering him to let them go will work. Hey, look, I'll just buy these guys from you, okay? He thinks for a moment. That can be done. Very much so. The entire collection will cost you a tidy sum, but you're free to take them away right now. Is that going to eat into the potential profit factor we just made off that inheritance? Well, what's done is done. Okay, I was hoping for more than that, like getting to actually talk to them or something. I'm afraid our establishment has been forced to suspend our Xenos display. Yeah, that's a crying shame. Maybe they'll be waiting for us when we get back to the ship. We'll check that out a bit later. But for now, we must finally meet with the Liege of Footfall. Only 5 episodes in, and we're finally getting our primary objective completed. Vladaym Tokara, the Liege. Also, Jay. My patience. You remember the way out? Dismissed. The tall man in austere gray clothes makes a show of looking past the woman he's addressing. Vladaym, Vladaym, Vladaym! What Aussie put such harsh words into your mouth? You talk like you're an Imperial clerk, not one of us. The woman, who is standing with her back to you, lets out an ostentatious sigh. Then her tone changes dramatically. Where's my cargo, Vladaym? Falco has it, doesn't he? So that's how you do business with your old friends these days? So you don't remember? Then the help will remind you. Guards, escort her out. Hidari, move. The massive guard leans down to the woman and says in a lowered voice, Jay, get going while he's letting you. Go drown your sorrows at the Amesicus and thank your lucky stars you were able to walk out the door. You won't get a chance next time. First an insult and now threats? I see courtesy and tact are no longer a valued commodity on Footfall. Oh well, I'll find myself a better deal. She turns on her heel and heads towards the exit. As she passes you by, she gives you a quick once-over, winks at you, then immediately turns away with a flip of her jet black hair. Well, that sounds promising. But for now, we're here for the House Delicu reject. The tall man, who's long since noticed your presence, is studying you intently. Vladaym Tokara, liege of Footfall. Let us please proceed to my office. A spread befitting a visitor of your rank is waiting. Your entourage will be accommodated nearby. Sure, sounds good. Please, follow me. While you're engaged in small talk, you get a chance to take the measure of Liege Tokara. His expression is aloof and focused, his gestures curt and firm, and his speech calm and quiet, as though he's used to people always listening to what he says. Judging by his observant gaze, he's been studying you in turn this whole time. Vladaym straightens in his chair and says in a polite but completely indifferent tone, Let's talk business. On behalf of the elite of Footfall Station, I offer you my condolences, Lord von Valentius. We mourn Lady Theodora's loss, and we hope this sentiment is taken as a sign of our good intentions and willingness to cooperate. Yeah, you sound all broken up about it. Thank you, Liege. It's a terrible loss for all of us. I knew her so well. I hope that under your guidance, the dynasty can recover from this blow and attain even greater power. I am impressed by your prudence. Your decision to arrive on Footfall incognito without announcing either the death of the previous rogue trader or your own status. It was quite wise. The rumors will spread sooner or later. It's impossible to keep secret something that's known to the thousands of people serving on a void ship. But for now, you are free to reap the benefits of anonymity. As you may have noticed, Footfall is currently in a state of crisis. Its people would benefit from the patronage of a figure such as yourself. You know, I was attacked the second I got here. Right out in the open on the docks. An outrageous stunt. A show of disrespect for both you and me. Sadly, such incidents on Footfall are akin to natural disasters. Impossible to predict or preempt. They simply happen. Many consider Footfall to be a pirate den. But believe me when I say that there is a difference between organized crime and gangs of thugs who have nothing to lose. You were attacked by the latter. The Anvers are a gang of punks who spit on our customs and hierarchy. Even their leader is more akin to an ideologue, a rabble-rouser who shouts, "Go on, go on!" Not a commander. Sooner or later we will find them, and have them strung up. That will likely cool his followers' fervor. Behind the carefully built facade of composure, you sense anger. It appears that this man is not used to losing control. But that is exactly what is happening. Sorry your assistant didn't make it out. What? Your words seem to perplex him for a moment, but his face remains cold. Oh, that. Yes, her death was a regrettable development. Oh shoot, all those other options disappeared. I hope those pop up again. I'd really like to ask him about the Anvers. Who was that woman you were talking to when I came in? She seemed interesting. Vladaym's expression hardens, and he makes a frustrated gesture. A dead woman walking. Some, however, still call her J. Haydari, a small-time hustler with big ambitions that will lead her to a sticky end. Inappropriate. It's strange. A small-time hustler, even a particularly audacious one, wouldn't likely quarrel in public with a figure as important as the Liege of Footfall. What seems stranger still is that the Liege knows this small fry by name. I mean, it seems pretty obvious. She even mentioned that they came up together. He probably just felt he outgrew her once he attained real power. She is irrelevant. Since I'm the one in control of the situation on Footfall, I can speak on behalf of all of its noteworthy residents. Yeah, speaking of which, what is the situation out here exactly? I've had no less than 3 groups of people try to kill me since I arrived. Troubling. Xenos raids are growing more frequent, trade is suffering, and fringe worlds are going under. Rumors of atrocities being committed by enemies of humanity are causing excessive panic due to their exotic nature. The core of the Imperium forces in the Coronis Expanse has departed for the sector's borders to combat the Xenos threat. There has been no word from them for a while now. Then again, with the distance and the current issues with astropaths, that is not entirely out of the ordinary. Still, we are not yet alone. From several of the worlds hit by Xenos attacks, we've received reports of fierce warriors who descend from the sky and entered the fray. The fragmentary accounts lead me to believe that the blessed Adeptus Astartes are operating in the Coronis Expanse, and I await news of their victories with great anticipation. Have there been any attacks here? No, there haven't. Attacking Footfall in general is not a particularly reasonable thing to do. Many ships are docked here at any given time, and should any problems arise, we will simply load ourselves onto them and disappear, leaving the invaders with nothing but barren rock. For us here, Xenos are more of a source of income than a threat. Vladaym freezes, gauging your reaction. Right, because this guy is supposed to be in the pocket of the Kaspolika? Sure. I don't see any issue with profiting off the occasional trophy or two. It's a delight to be talking to a business-minded individual. So, I believe you mentioned something about patronage? What'd you have in mind? Protection. Not military protection, but a different kind of security. You have, of course, already encountered difficulties with warp navigation on your way here. I'm afraid the scope of these difficulties extends far beyond this area. Reports of disrupted routes and ships vanishing during short jumps are coming in from across the entire sector. Communication with the Calixis sector has been extremely unstable. Of the ships that have dived into the Maw in recent years, none have yet returned. The visits we've had from the other side have also been suspiciously few in number. The last ship that came through the Maw was struck by a temporal anomaly. The jump took almost 2 decades in real space-time. You're well aware that the warp is unpredictable, and its fluctuations are a common, even expected occurrence. And this brings us to our main issue. Footfall is a repair shipyard and a trading post. We barely produce anything ourselves and are largely dependent on incoming shipments, especially food shipments. The station naturally has some reserves, but the supply issues didn't start yesterday. Footfall would be obliged if House von Valancius would assist us by signing a contract for food deliveries. I understand there's at least 2 other rogue traders active in this sector. I can't be the first one you've approached about this. Naturally, I tried contacting other rogue traders, but the terms of House Corda would have bled Footfall dry, and as for the esteemed Caligos Winterscale, instead of a food shipment from him, I received a transport, the Navica, packed with refugees. I had to send them off to Foulstone. So many extra mouths to feed would have only worsened the crisis further. I suppose all these warp fluctuations must have created more pressing concerns for Lord Winterscale. And so I put my faith in you, the third and last of Footfall's allies. I see. Well, it's nice to be appreciated. What'd you have in mind? It's simple. Delivery of food shipments from your fertile worlds. Janus, I imagine. I'm quite familiar with that jewel of the Von Valentius Empire. In exchange for fair payment. I mean, obviously we could try to soak this guy, but I'm sure there are also benefits to keeping things diplomatic. Especially given that we're also somewhat reliant on having access to this station. And we have 2 other would-be rivals active in this sector. Not to mention, of course, that Vladaym here is an active member of the Kaspolika, the local Xenos trade. Yeah, this feels like a really short-sighted option, so we'll just stay professional. Sure, I think that sounds fine. We'll have our people hash out the details. Vladaym takes a quick sip from his glass. I am immensely obliged, your lordship. I assume you're going to need time to get the shipments up and running. I can wait. On my end, I promise you complete cooperation with your endeavors. Hey, and look at that, we've got the Anvers option back. Plus some other miscellaneous options. What can you tell me about this whole Anvers situation? Why haven't you had them dealt with yet? He grits his teeth slightly before answering. I've been using all my resources to delay the moment when the station is hit by famine. I haven't gotten around to the Anvers yet. As detrimental as they are, they're no players. Their leader is more of a troublemaker than a gang leader with a plan and ambitions. They don't issue orders, they merely incite slaughter and robberies. When that void rat dies, the rest will scatter. Uh-huh. Yeah, that sounds very convincing, thank you. Mind if I ask some other questions about the station? Rest assured, I will be candid. My lips are bound by the oath of service. What exactly interests you on Footfall, this abode of merchants, xenotech traders, and only a few bandits? I'm sorry, the oath of what now? There is a certain custom on Footfall. Any rogue trader who arrives at the station and docks is considered to be its absolute ruler, and the liege their loyal servant. That makes me your servant. Vladaym's arrogant bearings contradict his words. However, as long as you remain incognito, it will be difficult for you to use this privilege. Keep this in mind if you wish to communicate with the less knowledgeable inhabitants of the station. For them, you are an ordinary visitor to Footfall. Right, yeah, that would be an issue. Hard to say if the whole incognito thing has really worked to our advantage thus far. Really, it's just gotten us attacked a lot. Though I guess we did soak that inheritance. So there's that. And, I mean, we've already committed to it thus far, no point in changing that now. Might as well see the whole thing through. Good to know. I'll use it sparingly. And I, in turn, will remember your gracious attitude. And I'll remember it when the esteemed Caligos Winterscale returns to discover that Footfall is no longer under his patronage. Right, that does make sense. Vladaym may not have a lot of power, at least compared to us, but he is still a useful asset, so there's no real reason to burn it. Not when we have other equally powerful rivals in the mix. He will be displeased upon finding his domain encroached upon, and will try to take it back. And Caligos Winterscale's displeasure is a very, very hazardous phenomenon. a fight between two rogue traders will ensue, and, as ridiculous as it may sound, its outcome will most likely depend on the allegiance of the station's humble liege. Pretty much exactly what we were just saying. You know, I get the impression you're a bit of a bandit yourself, Vladaym. Trust me, I know the type. You aren't wrong. My path was long and bloody, but in the end I rose from running a gang that had staked its claim to a treatment filter station to becoming the liege of Footfall. Many died to make this possible, and those who survived figured it would be more convenient to put me at the head than continue the slaughter of the turf war. I can only hope that my elevation and the peace that came with it have done the station good. Yeah, I think that tracks. There's certainly a lot of logic to having the sharpest and canniest individual in charge of things. What would the alternative be? One of those hack clerks from the Administratum? Ran into a few on my way here. Can't say I was impressed. I appreciate your breadth of thinking. In this day and age, few choose to allow themselves such a thing. Why, thank you. So, who handles the local cold trade anyway? The Kaspalika Mission, a criminal syndicate that has seized control of the entirety of the cold trade in the sector. Xenos creations are in high demand, and so every single colony has a Kaspalikan agent or two. Opposing their commercial interests is a lot more dangerous than using their merchandise. A pale ghost of a smile appears on his lips. Still, making friends with this organization is as profitable as it is dangerous to make enemies of them, and it just so happens that I've managed to earn their trust, and on Footfall they conduct their business under my watchful eye. He sends you a meaningful look. Message received. No further questions. I'm glad to have satisfied your curiosity. So let's say someone was in the market to buy or sell some Xenos artifacts. Where would they go? Here. I am the main dealer on the station, and it would be disrespectful of me to suggest that you take your business to Footfall traders of less importance. Still, you might take an interest in a few people of note. For example, Reverend Hieronymus Delaroso. This servant of the Ecclesiarchy is rumored to purchase sacred relics from captains, and other traders don't seem keen on becoming his competitors. Though I notice you do not mention Opticon 22. If you're looking for goods that can entertain you, find Octaviana in the establishment called the Adeptus Amesicus. The chemical bliss that she offers is refined and possesses a satisfactory degree of purity. Just don't ask her to pour you her signature drink. It's meant for common Footfall rabble, not discerning clientele. Noted. Alright, let's see what you've got. Maybe something will catch my eye. I am at your service. You can expect the most generous discounts. Alright, well, we are pretty much out of time, but let's at least give this a quick gander, just to get an idea of what Vladaym and the Kaspalika may have to offer. Ooh, that's fun. 50% armor absorption. Price isn't too bad either. Oh yeah, look at that. We actually did boost our profit factor. We're up 8 points. Interesting. So that actually just outright increased our maximum. Ooh, modified splinter pistol. That's an Eldar weapon, right? For some reason, I can't seem to... Ah, there we go. 6 to 10 damage, with 5 rate of fire. 3 pen, pretty decent. Range is 7, slightly below the auto pistol. Max ammo is much higher, though. Possibly with a poison effect? I mean, it definitely blows the standard auto pistol out of the water. Better in almost every way. Though it is a pricey investment. Man, now I kind of wish I'd saved that early cargo until we met all 4 of the main merchants. There are 4 merchants, each from one of the 4 main factions. And from what I have seen thus far, the best stuff, at least for our crew, is what we can get from Vladaym and the Kaspalikans. But it's fine. Again, just an alpha. We'll worry about real long-term planning if and when we do a full series, post-launch. That said, mission accomplished. We have now spoken with the Lord. We've gotten a bit more information and context about our current situation. We also wrapped up the funeral plot, which is nice. And as we saw, we got a real tangible reward from it too, aside from the various trinkets we picked up off the corpses. So yeah, we'll hit the pause button for now. I might do some off-screen trading with Vladaym, but we might also be better off waiting until we meet that last merchant. Sounds like she probably represents the pirate faction. And we will pick up here next time. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Warhammer 40k, Rogue Trader, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official websites. And if you'd like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things, or maybe even check out the Patreon, the YouTube memberships, or the Nexus GG page. Links are in the description.